started on a quiet Monday morning. Nestled in the hills of northern Vermont, the town of Graybridge was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked and neighbors shared more than just fences. They shared lives. So when Dr. Emily Harper, the town's beloved family physician, didn't show up to her clinic on October 14, 2021, people noticed. Fast. Patients began calling. A nurse drove by her house. Her car was still in the driveway, but the porch light, normally on a timer, was off. By that evening, police were at her home. Inside, they found her keys on the kitchen counter, her wallet in her purse, and her phone charging by the bed. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken glass, no struggle. Emily wasn't just any local. She delivered babies, comforted grieving families, and served the town for over a decade. People adored her. But in the days that followed, that adoration turned to anxiety. Search parties scoured the woods. Helicopters hovered. Dogs tracked her scent to the edge of a trail behind her home. And then, nothing. With no evidence of foul play and no ransom demand, police considered a random abduction. Maybe someone passing through. Maybe someone unstable. That's what they told the press. But quietly, the investigation took another turn. When detectives pulled Emily's phone records, they found a string of late-night texts from a number that wasn't saved in her contacts. The messages were emotional, urgent, even flirtatious. The number belonged to Daniel Mercer, a married EMT who often worked with Emily on emergency calls. A respected member of the community, a father of two. Daniel first denied knowing anything, then admitted they were close friends. Then, after hours of questioning, he confessed. They had been having an affair for nearly a year, but he insisted he had nothing to do with her disappearance. As investigators dug deeper, another secret emerged. Emily had filed a restraining order in 2018 against a former patient, Jason Carr, a local man with a history of mental illness. He had once sent her flowers every day for a month, then showed up at her home, uninvited. But the charges were dropped, and the incident forgotten. Jason was brought in for questioning. He had an alibi. Security footage showed him clocked in at a warehouse job 2 hours away. He was cleared. So was Daniel Mercer. His GPS, texts, and phone pings placed him at home the entire night Emily vanished. Frustrated, detectives were back at square one, until a routine check of local trail cameras caught a break. 2 days before her disappearance, Emily had been hiking alone near an off-grid cabin she often visited to write and meditate. A trail cam, placed by a hunter, captured her entering the woods. But she wasn't alone. Behind her, several feet back, was Claire Mercer, Daniel's wife. She hadn't shown up in any earlier reports, hadn't posted online. She told friends she'd been visiting family out of state. Investigators pulled cell tower data. Claire's phone had been powered off for nearly 12 hours that same day. When confronted, she broke down. Claire admitted she'd discovered the affair weeks earlier. She followed Emily that day, intending only to confront her. But as emotions flared, the argument turned physical. Claire claimed Emily hit her first. She pushed back. Emily hit her head on a stone outcrop. Claire panicked. She dragged Emily's body into a shallow ravine, covered her with leaves and debris, and fled. Later that week, she returned and buried the body near the cabin using camping tools stored in the trunk. Emily's remains were found 11 days after she vanished. Claire was arrested and later convicted of manslaughter. She is currently serving a 25-year sentence. The town of Graybridge still hasn't recovered. Emily Harper was more than a doctor. She was a cornerstone of a fragile community. Her death wasn't at the hands of a stranger, but someone whose life intersected with hers in silence and betrayal. What shocked the town the most wasn't just the act, but who committed it and why. Deadly truths, as it turns out, aren't always hidden in shadows. Sometimes, they sit quietly beside us in church pews, school fundraisers, and emergency rooms.